Hi there. This is my iPod. Anyway, today I saw for the second time. I was actually going to do this vlog the other day. Sorry I've been away, but I was fighting a really bad, nasty cold I got from the Tank Fest video I did about a month ago and picked up a really bad cold. So I'm back. And I saw Baby Driver on opening. It opened for us last Wednesday. I was kind of iffy on the movie. But I really like the soundtrack. So I downloaded the soundtrack from iTunes. Really liking the songs. And I thought, you know what? It's Cheapy Tuesday this week. I figured, you know what? I'm going to go see it again. So I did. Actually, seeing it the second time around, I really like the movie better. If you haven't heard about Baby Driver yet, or you haven't go see it, definitely go see it. It's a Edgar Wright film. And if you know Edgar Wright, he's from the Cornetto Trio, which is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End. You also may know him from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was shot in Toronto. Represent. It stars, I'm going to probably get some of these names wrong, Ansel, Elgort, who you might know from Fault in the Stars and the Divergent series. You also have John Hamm from Mad Men, and his girlfriend is played by Isa Gonzalez. And you got maybe 2 seconds of Jon Bernthal, who you might have seen. He was sort of the country bumpkin on Fury as part of the Tank Crew, and he played Ben Affleck's brother in The Accountant. I was disappointed because Bernthal didn't have a big role in this. He just was in part of the first heist. That's what sold me on the movie. The opening sequence is great. They're already, opening credits happen, and then you're taken into the car, sitting there waiting to go for the bank job. And then as soon as the bank job starts, kicking the music, which is Bell Bottoms by the John Spencer Explosive or Blues Explosion. But anyway, download the soundtrack. The soundtrack's amazing. And so basically it's Baby Driver and he loves music. He's a young guy. He actually got, they call it tinnitus. I think I have a bit of that too, and not from being in the tanks from back in the day, but doing too much clubbing in the 90s. I also have ring in the ears, but not at that extent. But I do like driving with music. So that's the whole key of the movie. Imagine the same thing too. You get your favorite tunes, basically giving you the soundtrack of your life, which is what this movie is about. And I'm going to put a link below. There's a guy who explains how that works. It's a really good video. And but I remember hearing the story before the movie came out too, that Edgar Wright worked with a choreographer, and Edgar Wright had this idea back when he listened to the song Bell Bottoms, which was like, and when you listen to Bell Bottoms, I remember listening to it after the movie. But when you're hearing the music, it's like, yeah, I can imagine the shifting and, the car squealing and zigging in and out of traffic. So you can actually, as the music plays, you can actually picture it as it goes, which is just brilliant to make a movie like that. So it's basically just life and times of about bank heist crews, and they all get together, and it's all organized by a fellow called Doc, who's played by Kevin Spacey. So basically, they figure out a really good plan. He gets a small crew, so basically, Getaway Driver, which is Baby, and then a 3-person crew to do whatever the job is, whatever the heist might be. The first one is a bank job. Then you see later on where Jamie Foxx comes in, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and another fellow who they're going to do an armored bank job. So basically the movie's like 3 different jobs. It's basically just Baby's life and times. And the story basically was when he was a young guy, he lost his parents. So I guess he had to devote himself to crime or do something, I guess, to keep himself going. He did have a foster father that you will see in the movie. But I guess, was a bored kid and whatever, and he accidentally tried ripping off Kevin Spacey, who let him do it, and then caught him red-handed and saying, well, you know what, I'm not going to, send you to jail or juvie, but you're going to work for me. And then when he's not, driving getaway cars, Ansel, just day-to-day life with his Walkman on, to drown out the ringing in his ears, and just trying to get by life. So this is how he's making his own money, so he can maybe one day just, give it up and go do his thing. And later in the movie, he meets a girl, Lily James, plays the love interest. And she's actually a girl who works in a local diner that actually Baby likes going to. That's basically the whole movie. It's about 90 plus minutes. It's really good. When I first saw it originally, I thought there were too many high points, too many low points. And then when I saw it again, I saw, yeah, there is an even pacing. But when I'm watching it this time, actually the timing was pretty good. and I actually paid attention more to how the music helps the pacing. And that's what the beautiful thing is too. Instead of like the traditional ways you film scenes and then you either bring in an orchestra, like say a Star Wars movie or Star Trek, and you score the scenes to give the mood. This is basically, yeah, here's a really cool too with Edgar Wright, is he picked a bunch of songs and said, okay, for this scene, this song, this song. So and the beats of the things, like there's a firefight scene in the middle of the movie, and they're playing a funky version of Tequila. When you're watching the gunshots too, or people are shooting, it's like bang, 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 bang. So that was kind of cool too, to see, to see the movie going like that. Seeing it again today renewed my faith in the movie. So definitely go see it. Can't state this enough. Getting the soundtrack. Go to iTunes. It's about 30 tracks. I listened to about maybe 20 of them that I personally like. Most of them is the driving music. The music is great too. It's not modern day music. It's actually original tunes. It's 60 R&B, or sort of the slower tunes. The Bell Bottoms is actually a 95 song, but it sounds like almost like 70s rock. And there is some 70s rock in there. Some of the R&B stuff and some of the Motown is really cool. And it's a really good an eclectic collection of music that really brings this movie together. I think overall, now that I've seen it this time around, this is a really good movie, up there with what I expect from Edgar Wright. And another interesting tidbit I just found out today too, watching YouTubes and talking to the other actors about how they were drawn into the project. They were actually given the script on iPads, and there was links to where the dialogue or description of the scenes, and there would be a link which actually played the music, so you could listen to the music as you're reading the script. So you're going like, oh, here's what's happening. Oh, and I'm hearing the sound of oh yeah, no, I got to do this. And actually, that was the story about Flea. Even though he's only in the one scene, he's part of the crew of the second heist, and he was drawn in. But yeah, this was a really good movie. It was very simple, wasn't complex, wasn't too Hollywood. All the filming of the stunts was done, on the spot. It wasn't like green screen or like old style movies where you're driving like this and everything's happening in the background. It's all happening as is. But what was nice about it, though, in one of the interviews, is that the stunt driver would sit down with Ansel and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn this way. We're going to drift this way. You're going to shift it like this. You're going to grab the emergency brake, and this is how you're going to do it. So when they're actually doing it, and supposedly it's a rigged up car, and actually the guy's sitting in, they called it a pod. He's sitting on top, and he's controlling the car. But of course, the camera's on Ansel as he's driving. But it looks like as he's making the motions, it's not like, okay, we're going left, and I'm going to turn like this, I'm going to turn like that. It's like, no, you can actually see him do the actual movement. He's following along, so that so they're going like step by step by step. At the same time, too, when they're filming, everybody is listening to it on iPods, or they're just blaring the songs in the background, and it's beautifully done. When I'm thinking about it now, I actually appreciate the more. So I'm definitely going to get this when it comes out. I give this at least 7.5, 8. I'll give it like a B plus, depending on your marking system. So you know what to do. If you like this review, I've got other reviews I've done before. I will link them over here on this side. You know the spot, over here somewhere. Subscribe if you want to see more of my stuff. I am back now after my cold. Sorry I was away, but it was a brutal 2-week cold, followed by 2 weeks of just my throat totally ripped. My throat is raw now, but this is my normal sounding voice from the dryness of the medications that I take. Yeah, that's why I was away for a while. So enjoy, and see you in the next one.